Offensive tackle Eugene Monroe out of New Jersey, a five-star prospect back in 2005, was one of the most physically dominant offensive tackles that I had scouted to that point. He sort of set the bar in the early Rivals era of being just a guy with a defensive mentality who brought that to the offensive side of the ball. He wanted to put his opponent on his back. It wasn't good enough to seal off. It wasn't good enough to engage long enough to keep his quarterback clean. He wanted to put you on the ground, whether it was in the run game, trying to reach the second level, pass protection. He had a tremendous attitude, very physical football player, aggressive, and always played to the whistle. And he was 6'6", 320 pounds. Now you got to remember, back then, that size was not average. Nowadays, you see a ton of guys that big, but back then he was one of the bigger, more physical linemen that I saw early in our Rivals' career. And he's a guy that I think, really sort of set the bar very high in a lot of respects. He had average athleticism. He was a big kid, and he wasn't particularly fluid. He wasn't the most athletic guy in the world. His feet were okay, but they weren't astonishingly quick. But he had tremendous technique. He was very, very strong, and when he got his hands on you, he moved you to where you wanted to be. So I was very curious when he got to the U.S. Army All-America Bowl how he would do against the highest level of competition, and it wasn't an issue. Now, he started his career inside, moved outside, became a first-round draft pick, became one of the most highly conditioned offensive tackles you'll ever see at the NFL, and now he's retired, a millionaire before 30. So I'm old, he's successful, and it's a lot of fun looking back on Eugene Monroe because he was fun to watch.